guys, welcome back to my channel. So today what I thought I would do was talk about yoga, the benefits of yoga. I'm not going to do a yoga class, but also not only the benefits of yoga, but the benefits of adding arm balances and handstands into your practice. I've been doing yoga for about 26 years and I love it. It's always been awesome. But I didn't really start doing arm balances and handstands until like the last 6 years. So it's one of those things where once I started doing it, it just really made a difference. I mean, it made it feel like I had gotten such a better workout, and I just had so much fun doing it. It took a little while to get to where I am now, but I'm going to tell you what I did to get to the point that I'm at now. And it doesn't really matter what age you are. You can do it at any age. You know, I mean, I'm in my 50s and proud of it. But I'm doing things in handstands that 20-year-olds can't even do. So that makes me feel pretty good. It makes me feel strong, and it's very empowering. So to start off with, if you're already doing yoga, good for you. If you have never done yoga before, I would definitely suggest that you start doing some yoga. You know, there's all kinds of classes everywhere. Even most of the gyms have yoga classes that are included in your membership. So it's not like you have to go to a private yoga studio and spend a bunch of money on, you know, taking, you know, a couple yoga classes a week. But if you can, just start out with a beginner yoga class, and, you know, just get in there and start learning the different poses. And what that does for you is it really helps with your flexibility. And I know as we all get older, even though I do yoga a lot, when I start doing yoga the next day, again in the beginning, I feel so stiff. So it does nothing but benefit you to do yoga a couple times a week, because everybody, you know, just gets more and more stiff as they get older. So you know, stretching is nothing but good for you. It's going to keep you flexible. You're less likely to get injured. You're less likely to have veins, and you're less likely to have cellulite. So it's nothing but beneficial with regard to that. Also, yoga is definitely proven to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. I know I've been going through a lot of stress in the last 4 or 5 months, and I don't know what I would do without my yoga practice. So if you're feeling stressed, you know, meditation always helps too. And actually, when you're doing yoga, it's almost like a little tiny form of meditation when you're in each pose, to really think about, you know, what you're doing, quiet your mind, and not think about everything else in your life that's making you crazy. So that's those are definitely the benefits of yoga. But the one thing that is super important too is it reduces your cortisol levels. That is the stress hormone that is so bad for you. So just that alone is enough to say, go take a yoga class once or twice a week. So what I started doing was about 6 years ago, I started doing handstands and arm balances in my class regularly. And the yoga instructor's name was John. So, hey John, if you're watching my videos, thank you so much for getting me into doing the handstands and the arm balances. And he used to have a little section in his class of like 8 to 10 minutes where he'd call it playtime, where you could do what you could, you know, doing, you know, anything against the wall, or he would spot you. And I was a gymnast when I was younger, so, you know, I didn't have like the fear of falling. But it gave me the time to actually start practicing. And then once I started doing that in class, I was like, well, maybe I'll just do it at home too, you know, when I'm not in class. And so then by the time I get back to class, you know, I'll kind of know what I'm doing and be better at it. So if you want to start adding handstands and arm balances into your practice, the best thing to do is start off at home, you know, by yourself against the wall. I don't really have enough room inside the house. There's not a big enough wall space for me to do it. So what I do is, like when I first started doing it, I started doing it outside against one of these posts. So I'll show you what I do to start off, and then you can try to maybe do it in yours. You definitely need a mat, and you definitely need to be warmed up. Don't try to do any arm balances or any handstands until you actually warm up. So typically, when I'm in a class, I don't really do any arm balances or handstands until like half of the class is over, because I want to be completely warmed up. So I don't injure myself at all, and I feel completely confident that you know, I'm not going to pull anything. So what you want to really try to do before you do any handstands or arm balances is really try to visualize keeping your hips directly over your shoulders. If your hips are too far forward or too far back, then you're not going to be able to keep your balance and you're going to fall. And when you do fall, you want to make sure that you just kind of twist out of it so you don't go toppling over the top, because that's when you kind of can hurt yourself, because it arches your back too much, and if you're not warmed up properly, you can really hurt yourself. So keeping your hips over your shoulders, sucking your stomach in while you're in a handstand, and pushing up through your shoulders as much as you can. You don't want to collapse into your shoulders. So, so here, I'll demonstrate what I'm going to do. So I'm going to kick up into a handstand, and I can feel my shoulders, you know, or my hips over my shoulders. I'm going to keep my legs split for now until I get my balance, and then I can bring my legs together. Suck your abs in nice and tight. And then once your hips are over your shoulders, you can pretty much do anything in a handstand. You can move into any position. And then come down when you're ready. So if you can just try to really remember those three things, then it's going to really help your handstand practice. So what I'm going to do is just show you what I did when I first started, because I was a little nervous that I would fall over with the arm balances and handstands. So you can do this with headstands too, but I'm just going to show you a forearm balance. So what I suggest is that you get your hands real close to the wall. I see a lot of people starting back here, and when they do that, they kick up and then they're instantly arched. So they're in the wrong position from the beginning. So if you get your hands real close to the wall and then you just kick up, then you're more likely to be able to be in the right position and pull your feet away from the wall, so you can learn how to be in the proper position right away. So hips over your shoulders. And then the same thing with a handstand. You want to get your hands real close to the wall, because if you don't, I'll show you, if you don't, then you kick up and then you're in this position and you're arched. And so you're in the wrong position from the beginning, and you learn to be in the wrong position. But if you get your hands real close to the wall, it forces you to be up straight. And so what you do is push up through your shoulders and try to keep pulling your feet away from the wall until you can actually hold yourself up. And then just come down. So the wall is great. If you have someone that can spot you, that's good too, but use the wall anywhere you can. So a lot of people feel really comfortable doing headstands because they, for whatever reason, they feel like, they're really close to the ground and they're not going to hurt themselves, which is actually pretty true. So it's good to start out with a headstand. So the easiest one is the tripod headstand. So if you can just make sure that you have, same thing, your hips are over your shoulders to start out with, and you're going to use your arms a lot. It's really going to stress your arms a little bit, so you definitely got to make sure you have the strength in your arms. And same thing, if you want to move in your headstand, if you keep your hips directly over your shoulders, you can do that. And if you just want to stay in the headstand, a good way to strengthen your abs is to try to come down in a pike position and go up in a pike position. And it's actually a really good ab workout. You can and it really helps with your balance. So start out with headstands because you're super close to the ground and you don't really have very far to fall. But you also have to know how to fall. So that's really important too. So just make sure that when you start doing these things, you have, some sort of a mat in front of you, or, something to protect you, or someone to spot you if need be, or do it against the wall. All you want to do is kind of twist out of it and go to the side. If you have to go over the top, you can, but you have to really be warmed up. Unless you can do like, a back bend or a wheel, I wouldn't suggest that. I would definitely say just kind of go to the side, and that will kind of help. So those are my tips on how to incorporate headstands, arm balances, and handstands into your yoga practice. Even if you don't do yoga, I mean, all those things are so much fun to do. It increases your strength, your flexibility, and of course reduces your cortisol levels, which we all need as we get older. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. It really kind of helps me stay motivated to keep, putting these videos out. I have a lot of information that I'd like to share with you guys, and it really kind of pumps me up when I get great comments from you, and I see the subscriptions going up. It really kind of makes me feel empowered and like, oh my God, I can't wait to make my next video. So thanks so much, you guys. I really appreciate you watching, and I love you, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.